Hello, everybody. Welcome to our case webinar. We're going to wait for people to come in to the Zoom room, and hopefully you can see participant has requested captions. Sure, you get captions. That'll be awesome. So welcome everyone. We'll get started here in a bit, just waiting for a couple more people to roll on through. If you're with us right now, please put in the chat where you're coming from. We want to see how far and wide our Aggie family goes. I'm from Sacramento, so I'm zooming in from there. We have our students in Davis right now. But yeah, put in the chat, where are you from? Where are you coming from? UC Davis. Let's go. Come on, I know there's at least someone from out of state, at least someone from like China. Someone always comes in from international. Bay Area. See Singapore. I see you, Tyler. Welcome. I'm like, what time is it over there? I'm like, is it night? Is it early morning? We got Bay Area in the house. Whoop, whoop. Denver, let's go. 8:30 a.m. Well, good morning. Yay. Taiwan. Good morning to you too, Joyce? Question mark. Yeah, where are people zooming in from? And then if you also want to share which major you got admitted as, you can put that into the chat as well. Ooh, welcome Ella from Maryland. Awesome. I love all this out of state, out of California. I mean, we love California, obviously, but it's always cool to get other perspectives and other people into the mix. Animal science, yes, we got a lot of those. Whoop, whoop. Come on, chat. I know you're there. There's 24 of y'all. You can't all be from the Bay Area. Another Vanessa. Woo, from Sacramento. Awesome. Love that name. Cool, cool, cool. Well, keep putting it into the chat. We'll be monitoring that. Animal Science from San Jose. Awesome. So yeah, thank you for sharing with us. You can keep putting into the chat. We love seeing it. Love the love. First and foremost, just want to say congratulations to all you guys. This is an amazing achievement. Those long hours filling out all those applications. Woof, you already did it. You're done. Congrats, and you're going to be class of 2030, which blows our minds. But hey, you guys are here. We're so excited. Shout out to your families, your teachers, your counselors, everybody that helped you. Huge, huge, huge accomplishment. And now you get to shop around. And thank you for shopping here at your local UC Davis. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Vanessa Talavera. I am the outreach coordinator here at the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences Dean's Office. Essentially, I am kind of working with prospective students. I go up and down California and kind of meet and greet all of you, and also put on little events like this and big events like Aggie Day. And then I got my wonderful students here today, and we'll start with Anna.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations on getting admitted to UC Davis. My name is Anna. I am a student outreach assistant in the dean's office, and I'm an animal science major and a fourth year, so graduating soon. So if anyone has any animal science questions, I know we have a lot of representation today. But yeah, congratulations.
Hi, everyone. Very similar to what Anna said. My name is Em. I am the other student outreach assistant. There are two of us. We're a three-team pair. I am an environmental policy analysis and planning major, so that's a very long name, but just urban planning. And I'm also a climate science and policy minor, so a bit more on that atmospheric science side. We want to get our Aggie ambassadors in here.
Hi everyone, my name is Julie. I'm a third year Man Econ major and I'm a transfer student, so this is also my first year here technically.
And then my name is Vanessa. I am a fourth year animal science and management major with a specialization in livestock from Woodland. So about 20 minutes from Davis. So I am a commuter student. And so yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Luna Barrera. I'm a first year animal science major and I'm from SoCal.
Yeah, awesome. So, of course, we're all here for you, but there's also a whole nother team of people that are here for you as well. So we are a huge college. We're the second largest college here at UC Davis. And with that makes up our team of advisors, major advisors, dean's office advisors, and as well as peer advisors. And then we'll also put on like really fun events as well, similar to this one a little bit. And so we have event coordinators, we have outreach coordinators like myself, and then we also have like Aggie Jumpstart coordinators. But essentially, to say when you come here, we have a home away from home for you and just people that are here to support you when you come. So just kind of want to put some faces to the college that you might see when you come to orientation, perhaps, or when you come visit our office. And then kind of just want to break down what it looks like when you come to UC Davis. Probably right now you're like, okay, I got admitted, now what? And like, what do I do next? Or, okay, like, how do I choose classes? Or what does all that mean essentially? So there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of look at it, but we like to kind of put it in this chart just to kind of help folks kind of navigate it in a way. And so we can kind of start off with first what major advisors do. So all of those majors that you got admitted to, essentially you have a major advisor. So that's going to be like your direct counselor for that major. They can go over major requirements with you, scheduling your classes, help with research and internship opportunities, and then also connect you with faculty that are in that major as well. And then we have the dean's office. So that's where me, and Anna live essentially. And so we kind of help out with everything and anything. So if you're like, I really don't know where to start with questions, or just like, I'm just lost in general, come on down to the dean's office. We will help you. We're very nice. We always have free stuff. So with all those events and everything, we can help you with major exploration. We can help you with GE and college requirements, graduation requirements, all of that good stuff. And then also different colleges, policies, and procedures. So essentially, if you're like, I want to change my major, or like, I want to add a minor, or I want a double major, I want a double minor, or like, ooh, I got a bad grade this quarter. What do I do now? Come talk to the dean's office. We'll help you. And then, of course, just general questions like, hey, like, I really want to find a club that does like stuff for like small animals, or like, oh, I want to start a bird feeding club, or like, oh, where can I go if I want to find free food on campus, or who should I talk to if I want to become like a climate scientist? Like, literally anything you can come talk to us about. We have tons of different appointments available for you to drop into. And then, ooh, let me go back one. But basically, where we kind of come together, we do work really closely with our major advisors as well. We have like a whole group chat with them basically. We can both recommend classes, referral to campus resources, and different co curricular opportunities. And these are the different campus resources that we have as well. So, kind of that team of people that I put in the beginning, this is kind of also where we branch out to as well. Also, wait, let me pause myself real quick. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A. I kind of just like started talking. But if you have any questions throughout this whole thing, please put it in the Q&A. And then the chat is like, I don't know if you want to give words of encouragement or just say hey. But yeah, the Q&A function is there for you. I believe it is there at the top or at the bottom of your screen. And now back to my presentation. And so, yes, these are different campus resources that are available to you. So we have different retention centers on campus. A lot of them are based on like identity, or based on like first generation, or just based off things that we think are helpful for students to kind of thrive when they come here to UC Davis. So definitely look out for these. If you ever visit campus, a lot of them are on the Student Community Center, or just like around the Memorial Union as well. And so these are great resources for you when you come, and they're also really fun and a great way to build community as well. So definitely check that out. And then you probably already know this, but we are number one in plant and animal science, and as well as agriculture, which is probably why you got into this school or why you applied. And essentially, when you come here, you're going to be joining top faculty when you come, top research that is happening. But also with that to say, even though that they are top faculty and top research, that shouldn't scare you from joining any of that. All of our faculty, I feel like, are so down to earth. They're literally like the nicest faculty that I ever met. And not just because I work with them, like just genuinely when you like meet them like at different events or when you're like talking to them in class, you're like, oh wow, I feel like I can actually go up to this professor, or like I want to go up to this professor because they just seem so cool and they love what they're doing. So yeah, just like something to shout out about our faculty and our Aggie family that we have here. And then we're also ranked top 10 in all of these different types of environmental sciences. Two that I want to highlight are entomology and environmental toxicology. These are like kind of our smaller or more niche majors, but they're really, really fun. They have great advisors there too. So if you're looking for some cool classes or you want to hold some bugs or like go to the Bohart Museum, Em knows I love bugs. And so, yeah, these are also really fun majors where if you want to like dabble in that as well, they're like different for like environmental sciences or also biology. But we're also ranked top 10 in those and still standing strong in those areas as well. So, yeah, also some fun things as to know as you're shopping around all of our different schools here in California or wherever you applied. And then also to make up who we are, like I said, we are the second largest college. And so we have over 7,600 plus undergraduate students. I feel like there's a lot of numbers here on this screen, but I would kind of just look at it as like, these are people that are here to support you and like folks that are going to be like here to help you along your journey at UC Davis. So I'll probably want to kind of point out as our student to faculty ratio. This is a pretty good student to faculty ratio in a sense of like all of our faculty are approachable, our grad students are approachable, especially in their classes as well. So yeah, just different folks that are here to support you when you come, like 725 staff members. I'm a staff member. But yeah, just these are places or folks that you can look to when you come to UC Davis of like, okay, like whenever I have a question, there's going to be someone that I will answer it and you hopefully won't be lost. So yeah, kind of just wanted to point that out. And then also to help you along your journey, or at least to show like kind of what we do for folks, we have a lot of hands-on learning experiences, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. 70% of our students are involved in an internship. I feel like everyone in the Zoom panel was probably in an internship at one point. And then also our graduation rate is over 80%. So if you come to us, we're going to take care of you. You will graduate on time. And then you may also be able to take additional classes. Or I know in my last year of college, like I was a part-time student. So you're definitely well equipped when you come here. And especially if you want to do anything postgraduate, like if you want to go to professional school, vet school, law school, we set you up pretty well for that as well. So the retention rate, the graduation rate, and like prospects after college are also very high. So just some things to point out. And then for financial aid, I know finances are a huge, huge thing within looking in for a college. And so your financial aid packages are already on your like my awards and everything. Unfortunately, in this presentation, we won't be going over like financial aid just because that's kind of like separate from us. But I do recommend reaching out to Jamila Brown. She's kind of one of our contacts over there. So if you haven't talked to anyone about your financial aid package and you're like, ooh, I really want to try to understand this before I make a decision, scan the QR code or email her, reach out to her. She's really great. We have a lot of different scholarships once you come here. So that's something that is also helpful if you're like, ooh, like I'm not very confident about my financial aid package, but like I do really want to go to this college. Like I said, once you come here, there's a lot of different scholarships that are available through us, but as well as like clubs, through different departmental scholarships. So definitely look out for those, or you can reach out to those departments of like, hey, what does the funding look like for this? So we just kind of want to let folks know and help you out as much as we can, but we won't be able to answer those specific questions here today. So yeah, definitely look at all your requirements before you submit your SIR. And then we will also go over like different housing and stuff like that. But I think I will pass it over to Em.
Yes, thank you, Vanessa. So hi again, everyone. So we're going to be touching a little bit on our different classes, our different majors, the whatnot here. At Davis, we do practice our large amount of intersectionality, both between our majors and our classes. Those are mainly between our three lovely groups here: agricultural sciences, environmental science, and human and social science. Most majors have you taking different classes and different prerequisites to kind of get a bearing on everything within the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, just to figure out what's going on. Yeah. So with that, we do have 27 different majors here in the College of Ag and Environmental Sciences. That ranges everywhere from marine and coastal science to our managerial economics. We also have our undeclared and exploratory program if you're just trying to figure out what to do. But I know in my experience as an environmental policy and planning major, I have taken classes in global disease biology, hydrology, food science, probably at least everything on this list at least once, because they really make sure you know basically everything for your required field. Again, touching on that intersectionality. We also have nearly 40 minors, which I don't even know all of them. We, for example, have a forensic entomology minor, which is just studying how bugs can be used to solve crimes, which is kind of freaky to think about. But I know my minor is climate science and policy, but there's also an atmospheric science minor, which I just didn't choose because I didn't want to do that much science and chemistry. I want to do a bit more policy. So you can really customize exactly what you want to do here through all of our programs that we do have offered. And now student housing, it is a very important subject for incoming first years. I can speak from experience on that. Luckily, our incoming first years do have guaranteed housing within any of our on-campus residency halls. That ranges from Segundo, Tercero, and Cuarto. There are also different customizations you can basically have for those. For example, you can get singles, you can get doubles, you can get triples. You can even get apartment and suite styles. Those are within Orchard Park, Tercero 4 Complex, Yosemite, the Green, and Shasta Hall. The Green is typically associated with more transfer housing, but the rest is open for first years, and it is going to be that more suite style, kind of a little bit more privacy. You get a kind of shared bathroom compared to everyone else. All the buildings also have their own designated communities. I'll touch on a little later the living learning communities, which a few of them do have. That ranges everywhere from a women's only floor to a arts and music focus or sustainability focus. They all also, because they're on campus, they have very easy access to any of your classes. They're all near your academic advisor, so you can meet with them in person. I personally love a good in-person meeting. You are also near all the dining commons, all the markets that we do have attached to all those. Each of them also has their own community garden, which I really loved when I was a freshman here. It gives you a nice little bit of green. We also each have study spaces and different events. I know all of the RAs like to hold events to bring everyone together. And again, all the floors have a study space, so you can get together with everyone on your floor. You can all just study together. You'll probably need that time. Now, kind of touching on a little bit more, again, we do have our living learning communities. You can scan either of these QR codes to learn more about the programs, but some of the living learning communities that we have listed here are Asian Pacific Islander communities, Sustainable Aggies, there's the women's only floor, there's the art and music. It all ranges. They also each have events focused around that. I know the Sustainable Aggies floor had different kind of green-based events. I know that the rainbow and art, not the rainbow and art one, but the music and art one, they formerly had a dorm in which you could paint the walls. I don't think they have that anymore, unfortunately, but it was a really cool thing to look at. We also do have the barn residency program, which I think is one of the coolest things that we offer here. In exchange for around 10 hours of work per week, you get free residency within any of the animal facilities. That is the dairy barn, goat barn, and horse barn. You're basically working there, taking care of the animals in exchange for housing. That is obviously geared towards a bit more animal science and management, animal biology. As much as I love animals, I think as an urban planning major, I'm good. I like my bed. So it depends on what you want to do, but that is another option that you have for student housing. A lot of people do take advantage of that after first year. Now, Vanessa kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but we do have a large amount of hands-on experience here at Davis. It is really emphasized here. One such thing as internships in that photo you can kind of see. We do have a lot of education-based internships. I personally have friends who want to be teachers and they want to be educators of some sort. There are internships that will connect you with a local elementary school, a local high school, local middle school, and you get sent out. You're going to be a teacher's aide and you can help out with the kids. You can also have a lot of lab experience. I know that even I keep on saying it, but even as an urban planning major, I've had lab experience. I had to take multiple biology labs. A little unsure about why I had to do that, but it gave me more knowledge in the long run. But I know in the case of Anna, where she's animal science, she had to take a lot of labs. You'll see a little bit more of that later. I've also had to take multiple geology classes that have had field trips. I know one was Point Reyes. I know another class offered one to Bodega Bay. A large amount of the classes offer hands-on experience, so you can learn as much as you can without just being confined to a single lecture hall and just looking at a screen, which I really love here. This is Anna's lovely introduction slide. You can see a lot of her lab experience here. I'm going to be honest, I don't know really what I'm looking at that much. So I can see a cow, I can see a sheep. It looks cool. I see a chicken.
Yeah, I'll give a quick little, oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, thanks. I'll give a quick little just like, so I'm an animal science major. These are some of the labs that I've had before. They were so much fun. The top cow picture is from my lactation class. Like, yes, the most specific niche class ever. But my professor was also simultaneously doing women's breast cancer research. So we got to learn a lot about that while tying into our lab and our class. I have some OChem pictures in there, some just like general animal science pictures. And then the bottom right is me with some coffee grounds in our infamous coffee lab. Any undergraduate can take it, and you basically just drink coffee the whole class. So it was amazing. But that's a little bit of the behind the scenes of my major as an animal science major so far.
All right. Here's a bit more of mine. Mine, I love my major so much. I have taken a bit more advantage of the off-campus internships when it comes to that. I did have to do those intermediate or introductory biology labs, but it wasn't really my niche, so I didn't really focus on that. But I do have pictured a lot of the intern work I've done. I've completed 2 internships in the last 2 summers, so one per summer. Both of them were for urban planning firms within the Bay Area. You can kind of see a few photos of that, which I do love. One of them was working on the canopy project for the city of Lafayette, which is in the East Bay, and just working with a lot of floor plans. I am also on campus. I am with an ASUCD, which is the Associate Students of the University of California, Davis, very long name, with an EPIC or the Environmental Policy and Planning Commission, another really long name. We're really bad at it. But I'm a commissioner here, so I help out the Senate in a lot of aspects. One such thing is leading the Sustainable Helping Hands Project, another long name, and it's a kind of corny name, but I love it. I did come up with it. And one thing that we are currently doing is trying to make the bike barn or our bike transportation service here completely zero waste through recycling their tires and turning them into playground equipment, which is still in the works, but we're almost done. And another thing that we are doing is converting a large amount of our newspaper stands to be weatherproof using bike tires. So that's kind of the project you can see in the corner. We are calling for designs on that. It's also nearly done. But we also have screen printing. We have my lovely old commission in the corner. And that middle photo is me with holding a cockroach at Aggie Day, which Vanessa really loved. I just had to include a photo of this to remind her of that moment. I can see her smiling. Now, there is a large network of support here at UC Davis. That ranges ever from teams of advisors, different events, and community-focused support. Vanessa touched on it a little bit earlier. In terms of advisors, we have our major advisors, our college advisors, our faculty advisors, our peer advisors. Basically, you can go to so many people for help. There's a lot of access to different people. It's very easy to also sign up for them, even if it's during class sign up season, during college, like the beginning of every single quarter when people are figuring out their classes. They're still available over email, over call, over Zoom. They still want to make time for you, which is something that I really love about them. So even if you can't meet with them in person, they are always available. That's our lovely Greg in the picture there. He is also a very kind advisor. We do have our events to connect. That happens around once every quarter. We have coffee with the dean. We have slice of advising, and we have study break. If you want free food, you should come to any of these events. We have a lot of free food. Personally, I stock up because it is really great to get that free food. But you can go, you can talk to advisors, you can talk to different faculty, and just get advice on your situation. Again, you don't really even have to sign up for that. It's a very easy way to connect with an advisor. We do also have, as I mentioned before, community focus groups. Those are career discovery groups. You try out different careers or try and study them and just try and figure out exactly what you want to do. You also have Aggie Jumpstart, and you have our major focus clubs and organizations. If you've been on an animal science tour at UC Davis, you've probably heard me talking about the Vet Aid Club a lot. It's very extensive. That's one such of our major focus clubs. There are also different community development-based clubs. There's different environmental clubs. anything you can imagine. We do have 800 different groups here on campus that are just for clubs and organizations, and a good amount of those are major focused, so you can most definitely find your niche. And we do have even more resources and opportunities for College of Ag students. We have Aggie ambassadors, manners. Again, we have different student organizations. We have different learning and internships that are provided through here. In the picture is our lovely service QBs who are working with me and Anna a lot. And this is them on their Yosemite trip 2 years ago. This is a service trip for the entirety of spring break. They go out and they volunteer in a given area. They also do volunteering trips every single quarter. They're very lovely people and they just connect a lot of volunteers to help benefit the community around us. They do some great work and anyone can sign up to be a part of that. Transportation and food is typically included. There are also different mental health and well-being resources. Again, everyone wants you to succeed here, and there are various opportunities that people can participate in. Now, finally, we do have our SIR, or I would like, Vanessa, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Is it the statement to intent to register? Okay, she's nodding. I'm going to take yes. And that is by May 1st, so make sure you get that in on time. But I'm going to hand it over on back to, actually, I'm going to hand it on back to Anna.
Yay! Well, thank you so much, guys, for all that good info. I know that was a lot of info for people, and especially students who like are figuring out what signing up for college is like, all these things, like what labs are like. It's a lot of information. So I'd like to remind everyone that we do have a Q&A box. If you click like on the bottom of your screen, it'll say Q&A. You're welcome to type a question in the chat, but you can also type it in the question and answer Q&A box if you want to remain anonymous. But we are going to talk with our Aggie ambassadors. These are active students, various years. And in a second, I'll do a little intro from each of you guys. But yeah, Aggie Ambassadors is a program on campus. It's basically for like student representatives on behalf of the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. So they do a lot of like service events, Aggie Day. If anyone attended Aggie Day yesterday in the wind and the rain, but they're also like busy students, so they have a lot of knowledge to share with you guys. They all have different backgrounds on where they're from, their major, everything. So I encourage you guys to keep asking questions. I already see a couple in the question answer box, but let's just do a quick little intro. I want to hear mostly from our Aggie ambassadors, but I guess quick intro for me again is my name is Anna. I work in the dean's office, and I'm a fourth year animal science major with a specialization in captive and companion animals. So that's like small animals. I was on the pre-veterinary track for a long time, but now that I'm graduating soon, I'm like kind of shifting gears and figuring out what I want to do with my career. And I'm also a communications minor. And I guess last helpful little fact about me is I switched majors from environmental science and management into animal science my freshman year. So I really recommend if anyone has any questions about switching majors or what's a minor or what's a specialization, stuff like that, we'll hear from today. But yeah, let's just get some intros really quick. We have two Vanessas today. So Vanessa G, would you like to do a quick little intro, just like name and major, minor, and any like extracurriculars you're in right now?
Yes, so I am fourth year animal science and management major with a specialization in livestock. So essentially the difference between my major and Anna's major is that there's a management component. A lot of people think that it's a double major, but it's really just one. So I take more like econ and accounting classes. And so I am a commuter student because I am from Woodland, which is about 20 minutes away from here. But I saw some questions in the chat about the barn residency. I'll actually be taking a residency at the horse barn starting in June.
Amazing. We'll have a firsthand experience from barn residency. And maybe Luna, you want to go next?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Luna Barrera. I'm a first year animal science major. I'm looking to specialize in probably avian medicine. I'm involved in the vet aid club, so if you have any questions about that, I'd be more than happy to answer about that. And I'm also into research labs, so if you have any questions about how to get into research, I'd be more than happy to answer stuff.
Great. And Yuli, you want to finish us off?
Yeah, hi. My name's Julie. I'm a third year managerial economics major with an emphasis in business economics, and I am currently in DWIB, which is Davis Women in Business.
Awesome. Well, let's get started with our first question. We had a great question. What was your experience as a first year or transfer student at UC Davis? So, was it hard to adjust? Like, what kind of resources did you use or clubs did you join to really help you feel like you could make a home for yourself, especially being away from high school routines, being away from family? Any kind of info you guys can give on that? Yeah, Vanessa, you want to start?
Yeah, besides the whole like community experience, I think one of like the biggest challenges was probably adjusting to the academics. Coming from high school, you're on semester schedule and you have your classes assigned to you. And yeah, so the 10 weeks, like it flies really fast, especially your first year. Everything's like new and exciting. But also just coming from high school, I mean, not to brag or anything, but like I had a above 4.0 GPA. And so that means, you're getting all A's. So high school really felt like kind of like a breeze and you were just like kind of just coasting through. And so coming into college was kind of a bit of like, whoa, what am I doing? Because you're with the best of the best and it's one step above college, I mean high school, so you're definitely challenged a bit more. So learning to study, like I thought I knew how to study, I did not know how to study. And I think that's just even now, like it evolves every single quarter.
Great. Yeah, Julie, you want to go next?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I'm a transfer student. This is my first year, and coming here was intense, but like in the most wonderful way. My community college did do quarter system, so I was kind of used to it, but you really underestimate it until you're here and you see how quickly it goes by. But honestly, for me, what helped me the most was having and building a connection with my major advisor. She taught me all the classes I need to take. She helped me make a 2 year like class schedule, and that really just ended up calming my nerves. Yeah.
That's awesome. And Luna, you haven't gone yet?
Yeah, so for me, I think being homesick was a big thing, and like I'm from SoCal, so it's not even that far of a drive, but I'm super like family oriented, so I think just like making friends here like through joining clubs and making friends in your classes, just like try not to be shy because like everyone's here, everyone is gonna be shy their first like going into it, so you just have to like make friends. Nobody's like judging you. Um, and then also the quarter system does does take you by surprise. Everyone was telling me it was fast, and then I got here and I was like, it won't be bad. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I need to stay on top of my work. Um, but it's definitely manageable. And I also agree meeting with a major advisor probably within like your first 2 weeks to like kind of calm your nerves about all the classes that you have to take. Also on Schedule Builder and use like my UC Davis, you can look at like all your major requirements and then you can like make a copy of it and like insert all the classes that you're planning to take or like the classes that you've done already so then you can kind of start crossing them off and it like makes it easier to plan.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think something that really helped me when I was applying to schools was if you look up online, like UC Davis, animal science major, or whatever your major is, there's a whole list of all the class requirements that you're going to need all online for you. So that's a really good reference to have. Um, but also coming from high school to college, the course schedule is very different. Like Luna, you mentioned being on the quarter system, it's really fast. So the difference that UC Davis has from some other like California schools is we're a quarter system, not a semester system. So we have 3 quarters in the school year. Summer's technically like our fourth quarter. And each quarter is 10 weeks of instruction and 1 week of finals. So your class is only 10 weeks long. So can you guys each give kind of like a rundown of what your classes look like, how many classes you take in a quarter, how's the pace of those classes, and your experience like keeping up with your school load? Um, yeah, let's just go same order. Vanessa, are you okay starting?
Yeah. So to be considered a full-time student, you have to take 12 units, and then to be considered part-time, it's 6 units. And so for me, I have to take at least 12 units because I am a full-time student. And it just really depends quarter to quarter and exactly what classes you take. So I think my freshman, sophomore year, you have to take a lot of the general education. And so it's like bio, chemistry, and because they're so like rigorous, it is more kind of a load. So it'll be like worth more. So it's like 4 to 5 units, for example. So if I'm taking like chem or bio, which I don't recommend taking together, but that's up to you. Um, then that's kind of like you're not taking as many classes compared to me now. I'm an upper division, so I'm taking my more major classes and more like specialized classes. It'll be like worth a little bit less. So like for example, I just took a meat science class and that was like 3 units. So then I took like 4 classes versus taking 3 classes. So it really depends quarter to quarter and exactly what you're taking. But that's just the gist of it. I really try because the max you could take is, I believe, 18 or 20 units, something like that. I really try to stay somewhere in between 12 to 14 units.
Yeah, Luna, you want to go next?
Yeah, so I generally am trying to take between 15 to 17 units because I am also on a pre-vet track, so I have like additional requirements that aren't part of the major requirements. Um, so there's that. And then also I kind of like that. I mentioned that it goes by fast and it takes you by surprise, but it's also like if you are kind of bored of a class, like you only have to be in it for 10 weeks and then it's over. So it helps you like not get bored of your classes. And I've adjusted to the quarter system and I definitely have grown to like it more.
All right, and Julie?
Yeah, so I'm a math major, so I take a lot of math heavy classes. So usually I'll take around 13 to 15 units, which is around like 3 classes. Sometimes I do 4. But the schedule is honestly not that bad. I will say like by the third week you will have like a midterm on either that week or around the corner that you need to start focusing for. But like Luna said, if you don't like the class, it's over really quickly, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And something that a lot of our tours ask us, like prospective students, is like, how do you go to such a big UC school, but still get like one-on-one time with professors or lab time? And typically, how it's structured is for chemistry, for example, you might have a huge lecture hall where it's like 300 students. But UC Davis does a great job at mitigating the class sizes by having only 20 student max labs and discussions. So it's a really great way to like, you do have this big lecture, but then you have this really small kind of focus group where you get to do your lab experiments, you get to discuss things, and that's led by a TA who's often a master's student or a PhD student or your professor themselves. So that's a great way that like you're taking like big classes. It's a big UC school, but you're still in like some small little labs and discussions. Um, let's talk a little bit about like student life and extracurriculars. I know some of you are doing research, some of you are in clubs. So how did you guys find your niche when you came to UC Davis? Like when it was your first year, your first quarter, what did you do to kind of find your clubs, or how did you find your research labs, or whatever extracurriculars you guys are involved in? And does anyone want to go first for this one? Luna, you want to go first? Go for it.
So I actually I was involved in FFA in high school. It's like an ag program in high school. And at state conference, I went up to the UC Davis booth and I was like, oh, I'm interested in like, or I'm going to UC Davis as a pre-vet. What can I get involved in? And so like they were telling me about like the vet aid club. There's like so many pre-vet clubs on campus. So like you just have to find like the one that you like. There's one for like wildlife. There's Yeah, there's just a wide variety of them. I gravitated towards the vet aid club because they're the largest pre-vet club on campus, and that's where I kind of found out about like the research opportunities. So I signed up for their listserv. You could find it on their Instagram as well. And they send out like weekly emails, and within them they have like opportunities, and that's with like any club that you join, they'll like have opportunities within like that interest. And so I applied there, and then that's how I started at a research lab in the fall, right when I came in, and that's with behavioral coding on dairy calves. And then kind of the more you network with people, the more opportunities are going to be open to you. So I would say just like try to get as involved as possible, but also just like focus on what's interesting to you and not just like um doing stuff to do it. Because it's really just like what's important to you that's gonna make it worth it. And I think the other research lab I'm involved in is a small ruminant research and veterinary extension. And for that, I help with like translating what the doctor is saying to like the community. So like she does like different events, and so that's really important to me. So that's why I think that's something that I love doing. Um, and then also through Ag Ambassadors, I think that's helped me get involved more. So I would say that's something I would consider joining as well.
Yeah, maybe Vanessa, you want to go next?
Yeah, I joined Ag Ambassadors coming into my freshman year as well. And so I've been in it all 4 years. I've met some of my closest friends I know now through Ag Ambassadors, and that was a really huge thing for me just because coming in, a lot of times you kind of have like automatic friends because you live in the dorms. I did not have that experience, so I kind of had to be more intentional about how I meet friends and stuff. So definitely Aggie Ambassadors helped and just joining clubs and honestly just not being afraid to put yourself out there. It's gonna be very scary. You come in not knowing anybody and it's a huge school, you're homesick, you're missing your friends. Just saying yes to things. And in class, I think everyone's attitude, this was my experience. Like I went into my first like class, like first day of school, and everyone was just like, arrived early and everyone was just like, oh my gosh, hey, hi, how are you? Like exchanging social medias. So definitely don't be afraid to put yourself out there is probably the best tip you could do.
Yeah, and Yuli, you want to finish?
Yeah, so I found out about my club and Aggie Ambassadors during my orientation, and kind of during your orientation, they are going to talk a little bit of like the specific major clubs that there are, which gives you a really good opportunity to like talk to some of them or like know what resources there are. So that's how I found it. And then I say when making friends, honestly, just talk to someone. There's a running joke in my group where one of my best friends now, I asked her about the weather, and now we're like really close, and we do Aggie ambassadors together and stuff. Yeah, and then talk to like people in your class, and yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing that we can all agree on is that like everyone is in the same boat. Like everyone has moved away from home or like at least just gone to a new school. Like it's very different. And so everyone is like really open to making friends. Everyone is kind of club shopping. Like that's something that I did too, is I just tried a bunch of different clubs, a bunch of different like organizations, a bunch of different jobs, like just kind of hopping around and seeing what you like best, like where your friends are. But in classes too, like class sizes, like I mentioned earlier, lectures are pretty big, but you really like continuously see the same people in your major. I don't know about you guys, but like even in a lecture of 300, I always like am seeing the same people. And so it's really easy to make friends in your classes and in those small labs that you have. So yeah, I think you guys all have like a really unique kind of path of where your community is. But I think that underlying common denominator is that like everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's like figuring things out as they go. Um, Next question is, how did you figure out that your major was your major. I know, Vanessa, you kind of switched majors from animal science to animal science and management. I switched majors at first too, but even if you didn't switch majors, I guess my question is like, how did you know that your major was for you? Was that through labs or through your extracurriculars, or what resources like were you supported by in these like major career endeavors, if that makes sense? Does anyone want to start this one? Vanessa, you want to go for it?
Yeah, so I originally was really set on, animal science and then going pre-vet and, becoming a livestock veterinarian. But then I took my first class. So if you do go to UC Davis, you have to take ANS 1, which is like an introduction to like domestic animals. And just the way it was structured and just learning so much about the industry, I realized I want to go more towards the management side versus becoming a vet. And that's just through like we have things that are called like ANS 49 classes, and it's like just each class. So you take your general animal science classes, and it covers like a wide range of species. And so each 49 class goes a deeper dive into each specific facility we have on campus. So for example, like the dairy, I took a class at the dairy, and that's really one-on-one. I was with the barn manager and talking to her, and she was saying like, yeah, a lot of the things that I do on a daily basis is what I was thinking vets do, but in reality, a lot of the work done in the field is done by barn managers or facilities versus getting a vet. So that's kind of why I turned towards that side, and I don't regret it. And a lot of people do switch out completely from animal science, but I knew for sure like I wanted to be in animal science because it still fascinated me. But definitely, like explore that. And a lot of people surprisingly do change their majors. I think it's really rare to meet someone who hasn't changed their majors or like changed somewhat of their career path. So just staying open to that. Even if you do think you're dead set on something, definitely go for it and try different opportunities.
Yeah, that is great advice. Luna, you want to go next?
Yeah, for me, I think I mean, I guess I'm a first year, so like it's I can't speak too much on like the classes, but I think I've always wanted to go into like animal science, like something involved with animals, and through like I took ANS 1, I'm currently in ANS 2, um just finding like hearing about all like the wide range of things that goes into like taking care of an animal, the practices of like raising them. It covers more of like the ag production side, but I also enjoy that. And I think like that's like or learning about the specific systems of like the animals really interested me, and I'm like, okay, this is definitely what I want to do.
And Yuli?
Yeah, so as a transfer student, not only did I have to do like my transfer requirements, I also got the chance to do an associate, and I ended up doing like 3 associates on business administration, business finance, and business with an emphasis in accounting. And through those classes, I decided that I really wanted to stay with economics. So coming to Davis, I talked to a bunch of different advisors from my community college and a couple from here. And I even got to meet with my advisor that I use now, Maria, which she is the best. If any of you are a managerial economics major, reach out to Maria. She will help you so much. And then, yeah, when I got here, I took a couple of economic classes, and I decided that it was for sure what I wanted.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I think kind of same for me. Like you just take such a breadth of classes as part of your general education requirements or as part of your major requirements. Like Em was mentioning, like it's very interdisciplinary. So you really figure out what you want to do as you go through it. Like that's how the quarter system is designed so that you can take a lot of classes and figure out what you want to do. We have about 10 minutes and I have some more questions that we're going to get through. I'll just answer this one really quick. We have a lot of animal science students in here, me included, and we have some questions about how hard it is for animal science majors to get into the vet school. And because the UC Davis Vet School is #1 in the country, #2 in the world right now, if you guys didn't know. But I just pulled up some statistics really quick. And out of like 2,100 applicants, 154 were admitted. And out of those 154, 127 were California residents. And it doesn't say the exact number from this year. This is class of 2029, so last year's class. But I saw a statistic before that, like most or a lot of the admitted students are from UC Davis undergraduate animal science majors. It's not a guarantee, like just because you go to UC Davis undergrad doesn't mean you get free pass into the vet school. But UC Davis, like the classes that you have in animal science or animal science and management are so hands-on, and the prerequisites for vet school align very well with the major requirements at UC Davis. So if you're interested in being a vet, we are #1 in the country for vet medicine for a reason. And so that leads me into my next question that someone asked is, can you talk about how much hands-on animal experiences you have in the animal science major? And they also asked a little bit about wildlife conservation, like our wildlife fish conservation biology major. And I'll have each of you, or I guess we'll just have Luna and Vanessa talk about maybe your favorite animal science lab class or hands-on experience. But I did quickly want to mention that we have a lot of animal related majors. We have animal science, animal biology, and animal science and management. But we also have wildlife, fish, and conservation biology, which is typically a little bit more like the name suggests, conservation, so a little bit more environmental science. But animal science is a little bit more like pre-veterinary prerequisite. So it really just depends what you're more interested in. But like I mentioned earlier, online, there's a whole list of all the classes that you need to take. So just choose the major that you like the classes for the best, in my opinion. But maybe let's start with Vanessa. Do you have a favorite like hands-on animal lab or class or club or whatever?
There's a lot. I think, well, I already mentioned the 49 classes. I think I've done almost every facility. Um, and those are really fun because they are one-on-one. So I've had a lot of good experiences there. Definitely the meat lab. I took like a class for one of my major requirements is meat science class. And so like we took a tour of like Costco. We went to Superior Farms, which is a lamb facility, and seeing how they process their meat products and stuff like that. So that's awesome and cool and interesting. But yeah, a lot of different things. And I think a big like misconception between like a CSU, which is a California State University, like Chico or like Cal Poly, who also has a very competitive animal science program, versus like a UC, is that a lot of people think that we're very research focused and you don't really get a lot of hands-on experience. Which is, yes, we do a lot of research, but it also is really hands-on. A lot of people don't realize that we have all these different opportunities in our facilities. We actually tie in terms of like best facility, like we tie pretty well with like Chico for like our beef facility and like our meat lab and stuff. So definitely you get a lot of hands-on experiences and a lot of different opportunities.
Um, Speaking about like the animal science classes, each week in your labs you'll have hands-on activities with animals. So like in ANS 1, you go through like all the different species. So as you're learning them in class, you're also like doing those labs related to those species. So you're getting a variety of experiences within your classes, but I also can't like stress enough like making sure to like branch out. So like there's like so many opportunities on campus for research. And I know like you think of research and you're like, oh well, it's just like stuff on like a computer or whatever. But like there's stuff in field in it like in the field research that like you just reach out to professors and like sometimes they have an open spot for you and like you just have to like be willing to like email them or like even on if you just search up like UC Davis whatever facility you're interested in, like swine, beef, you can get the contacts of like the barn managers, and sometimes they're looking for volunteers too, so you could always just volunteer there. Even if it's not like a paid position or something, you're still getting sorry, hands-on experience through that. Oh, and then sorry, also for wildlife, we have the California Raptor Center, and that's like on campus. It's a little bit further down, but like not too far of a bike ride. And I know they're always looking for volunteers as well. They do it through like an application system, and the more times you apply, the more likely you are to like be considered for the next time.
Yeah, thank you to my animal science majors. Yeah, Luna, one thing that you mentioned is like they're always looking for volunteers or internships, like paid or not. I guess I'll wrap us up right now and say for that last question is UC Davis is a big UC school, but we do not lack resources or jobs or internships or research. Like I've had like multiple little jobs or like short quarterly internships. Like there's plenty of stuff. Like Luna was saying that she's in 2 research labs right now. Vanessa has an on-campus job. Me and Em have on-campus jobs. There's so many resources. And we are a research university. So that means a lot of your professors are also doing their own research. And they have their own labs that students can work in or volunteer in. I mentioned earlier that I took a lactation class and my professor was researching women's breast cancer and lactation. So like a lot of amazing research goes on here. Like it's not just undergraduate education. There's a whole like thousands of faculty. Vanessa T mentioned earlier that we have a 29-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So plenty of on-campus and off-campus resources. Also, like in the town of Davis, it's very student-centered. So companies and businesses off campus are always hiring students, looking for interns. So I think that's also one of the ways that I really narrowed down what I want to do with my career or my major. Also for my animal science students, the VMTH, the vet school at UC Davis, also takes interns and student employees. So yeah, there's plenty of things to get involved in. But thank you so much to our Aggie Ambassador panelists. I appreciate you guys. If you guys in the audience have any more questions, feel free to, call us or email us with the email on our College of Ag website, and I'll let Vanessa T wrap things up.
Wait, sorry, could I say one more thing?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
I also wanted to mention the academic assistance and tutoring centers. I've taken advantage of those. There's like so many on-campus resources for that, but specifically them because you can schedule one-on-one tutoring through Schedule Builder. And there's also like for chem, biology, econ, math, like all the like STEM classes, they're there to help you. So just make sure you take advantage of that because it's all free.
Yes, love that. Thank you for mentioning that. That's a good one.
Yeah, there is no shame in getting tutoring once you get here. No shame in going to the writing center. Like, definitely, you do anything that you can in order to pass your classes. So, I hope you guys can see like how amazing our college is and how passionate our students are about what they're studying, the work that they're doing. Like, they say this on their own free will. Like, I just show up and press play. And so round of applause for all of them. They're doing amazing work, taking time from their classes today, and from their studying. So thank you all, the Aggie ambassadors, for joining us this evening. Shout out to Anna and Em for their presentation skills and everything. And hopefully you all feel better about kind of like your decisions or just kind of getting more information about UC Davis or getting more excited about it. We really hope to see you in the fall, or even if you come do one of our tours. We have tours all throughout spring quarter and sprinkling in through the summer as well for our specific ag facilities. So other than that, thank y'all so much. Don't forget about May 1st for those SIR dates. And like Anna said, if you have any other questions, feel free to find our contact information online, send us an email, follow us on Instagram and all those great stuff. Like and subscribe. But anyways, everyone have a great night and thank you so much for joining us this evening. Bye bye.